the representatives of the people. That's what we're here for.
So you will have a resolution very soon?
We hope that our work product will be out within the next 24 to 48 hours, a resolution of this committee to the House and Senate to take formal action. And I'm not at this point ready to say what that resolution might say, but right now you've got some pretty angry representatives and senators.
Can you give us a briefing for those who haven't been inside and weren't able to see any of the event go on? Can you let us know what evidence of fraud came about so far, or what has been said so far inside? Maybe a quick summary.
That's a really good question, and gentlemen, feel free to step in here, but essentially what we did this morning is we set the table. Individuals who have been able to identify fraud over a very long period of time, it doesn't take a stretch of the imagination to believe that Dominion software and equipment that was made for Michigan is probably very similar to what we have in Arizona. I can't imagine that they would do something totally different, so we kind of blow that whole argument up. But what we've done is we've set the table to show how this stuff works, how the software and the equipment can be manipulated, and kind of given ourselves an opportunity to just take in how can this fraud be accomplished both with real ballots, meaning paper, and electronically. And I'm just going to use the term drag and drop, or the combination of both, because we have seen at least 6 different pathways for fraud to occur, whether it's absentee ballots, mail-in ballots. I mean, we've got a gentleman who we hope will be able to testify this afternoon, lives in Michigan, and he's going to show us 2 permanent early voter ballots, both sent to him on the same day for his name at his home in Michigan. He's an out-of-state voter because he lives here but vacations up in Michigan. But that's the point. How did he get 2 general election ballots out of Apache County, Arizona?
There's a real simple.
Mr. Cook, step
there's a
in here,
real
please.
simple answer to your question. If you want to get to the simplest part of it, is we just heard under testimony on sworn affidavits a woman that was a poll worker that witnessed people with out-of-state driver's license and phone calls being made, and people that had out-of-state current driver's license were given ballots and allowed to vote in the state of Arizona, while residents of the state of Arizona living outside the precinct were denied ballots. Now, there's 2 different types of fraud: election fraud and voter fraud. And that right there is voter fraud. And when someone not residing in this state under our legal authority for the residency timelines was given a ballot and allowed to vote in this election.
That's right.
That's that simple.
Your name and the district you represent?
I'm Representative David Cook, and I represent District 8, which is Pinal and Gila County.
Representative Grosser, you had some comment? Go ahead.
Well, you know, this, you know, a lot of our detractors are going to say this is all about President Trump. Well, no, it's not. This is about freedom. This is about protecting the rights of the individual voter that is guaranteed in the Constitution. We are a fair country. Americans are fair-minded. We want fairness. We don't want to have one side over the other. Setting aside a lot of party leadership, you know, they do their thing, but the average voter, the average American, they want to make sure, they can't stand, they despise cheating, and we want to make sure that that is addressed and is eradicated as best we can. This is about freedom and preserving our Constitution and preserving this republic, because we are not a direct democracy. We are a republic. So we want to make sure that we are guaranteeing that everybody's right to vote is protected. It's sovereign. It's your own sovereign right. It's guaranteed, and you're entitled to it based in the Constitution. So it's not just about President Trump. This is about everybody as a whole. That we want to eradicate any kind of criminal behavior or infiltration in the system, which is totally wrong. That's why we have a rule of law. Thank you.
Yep.
I'm Sonny Borelli. I'm a state senator from LD5, which is Mojave County, La Paz County.
And just to touch on the senator, Leo Biasucci, also District 5 representative. You know, this is something that we've been getting emails for weeks now from our constituents, thousands and thousands of emails
20,000.
asking us, 20,000, asking us to look into this election. And this is our job as a representative. This is our duty, is to make sure that our elections are fair and safe. This is why this is happening today, because we want to make sure the evidence is presented, and then we want to make sure the voters see for themselves. Do you think our elections were compromised? From what we saw this morning, I mean, everybody should be freaked out and scared to know that our votes are being run by a foreign company, being sent overseas, when we were lied to on television from people saying, nope, the internet's not attached, we're not sending votes overseas. We had a colonel today tell us, under oath, he goes, this is truthful. We researched this. This is happening. We're connected to the internet. It's being sent to Frankfurt, Germany. This is something that should terrify everybody. It terrifies me as a representative. It should terrify you as a voter. We need to get to the bottom of these irregularities and the potential for fraud, and this is what we hope we can do today.
Congressman Paul Gosar from Arizona's 4th District. This goes back to a summary of a subcommittee on elections in the Senate, U.S. Senate, that actually identified Dominion and EES as being 100% corruptible in their software. Now think about that. Not 99, not 95, but 100% corruptible. And the colonel today showed us all the different inferences and timetables and places where that corruption could occur and did occur. That is unsettling. And people like the governor, the attorney general, the secretary of state, the county board of supervisors, when they were addressed in having a forensic audit to hand count the paper ballots, refused. Now that's a dereliction of duty, particularly when you know 100% by the U.S. Senate, and Dominion was one of them, 100% corruptible in that aspect. That is not appropriate. We need to have the truth in lending and the truth aspects of voting. It is sacrosanct in the United States.
Here's another thing that came out. It was really disgusting. And it really disturbs me when they were talking about absentee ballots that came in, and now how they have to be transferred and changed on a different form. I'm a retired Marine. I'm convinced every one of my absentee ballots when I was on active duty overseas never even got counted. Now think about it. We are going on almost 20 years of combat service overseas right now, and that means these troopers are overseas risking their lives, and they're voting, and all this is what? For nothing? That somebody's going to steal something that they're actually giving sweat, blood, and tears for. These are the things that disgust me. Those are the true heroes out there, and they need to be represented, because obviously shenanigans go on behind closed doors. Because we heard from testimony from that lady, a duplicate, that something needs to be duplicated, goes to another room, and there's nobody there to verify that that person's actually being transferred over with the right information. These things are disgusting. These our American public, citizens deserve better, especially our servicemen and women that are serving right now, risking their lives day in, day out. This is disgusting and needs to be fixed once and for all.
We have spent hundreds of millions of dollars for free and fair elections in Iraq.
And they're doing it right.
Let that sink in for just a moment. We want a free and fair election in this country that's every bit as secure as what is happening in that country. Really? This is all about chain of custody. Cannot emphasize that enough. We do not have fraud countermeasures. We have people who have got too many fingers on those ballots. We have equipment that is made by a foreign country that is 100% corruptible. And we've got a duplicitous organization, that would be our elected officials, who are permitting the sequestration of that instead of showing transparency and say, you know what, you don't have to give us a subpoena, you don't have to impound the machines. Tell you what, pick one, let's do a forensic audit. All I'm hearing is crickets, and that is unacceptable.
The other thing I'd like to say, though, is this is not even a partisan issue. This is a bipartisan issue. In fact, one of my colleagues, a very liberal member from Maryland, Jamie Raskin, sits on government oversight, has actually introduced legislation because he was so concerned about the corruptibility in the 2016 election in regards to Russia. Bingo. So we ought to be doing this across the board for transparency to the American public.
And General Flynn and General McInerney has been calling this one as a coup d'etat. What's your comment on that? Do you think it's a coup?
Is this an attempted coup d'etat?
Yes. Yeah.
The only thing that's missing is guns.
And
And the weapon they're using is the very thing that the American people hold dearest. And that is their dedication to free and fair elections. What they've done is they've weaponized the electoral process against the people of America, our open society. News for you, George Soros. We already had an open society. We had a truthful society, not Nazi Germany like where you served. Well, I find that repugnant.
The other thing,
Gathered outside to support y'all. Have you ever seen anything like this in your career? And what's your message to the thousands of patriots sitting outside the hotels?
keep the faith. Actually, keep the say your prayers. You know, our republic hangs on this.
Right.
This is going to be very, very important. And so raise your voices. Make sure that the elected officials' feet are held to the flames. That's the governor, the secretary of state, that's the attorney general, that's members of this House and Senate here. It's members of the U.S. House and Senate. All of us need to be on guard. We answer to the public, and that's what we ought to do. Last but not least, you know, Democrats always petition the Supreme Court Chief Justice Roberts because they think they can sway him. Why don't we do the same thing? But instead of just making it Roberts, how about we do for all the Supreme Court justices so they hear our voice loud and clear?
And I want to just leave on one more thing, and that's this. Look, 4 years they investigated Donald Trump and his administration for collusion. 4 years of interference. And now they're trying to push this through in weeks. That, to me, is disgusting. Give us the time that we gave you guys to do your investigation, to see what you came up with. And that's all we're asking for. That's what the people want. This is what the voters want. They want us to look into the election, and that's what we're going to do.
You know, and I want to quote a tweet by Nancy Pelosi, who said on 5/16/17, "Our election was hijacked. There is no question. Congress has a duty. Hashtag protect our democracy, follow the facts." It's amazing how they want to take all the facts and shove them underneath the carpet. As far as responding to what you said about the folks outside, it's really refreshing to find out that we actually have some support out there. Because most of the time we have the Democrats and the socialists screaming and yelling at us, calling us a bunch of Nazis. Well, what you will not see is us voting in anything in favor of any kind of socialist, communist agenda, period.
It also shows you how much the other side and even some of the Republican aristocracy hate this president more than they love this country.
So next year's redistricting, are you guys at all scared that you're going to get punished for even having this?
I'm not punished because I'm probably one of the most dangerous men standing up here. I'm termed out. So I'm here to do the right thing. I've been doing the right thing ever since I was first elected 6 years ago. I got 2 more years of service. I won't be coming back. I made that commitment to my constituents when I was first elected. My yes is my yes, my no is my no, and when I lay something out there, I don't walk my word back. Now I'll give you just a brief history lesson. People saying this is unprecedented. Bull roar. In 1876, Rutherford B. Hayes against Tilden, 3 state legislatures saw so much fraud that they said, we cannot condone this. We are clawing our electoral college votes back. We will not release them. That's what I'm calling on our colleagues in both the House and Senate to do. Exercise our plenary authority under the U.S. Constitution. There is a legal brief out there that says we are not tethered to state statute when it comes to this one question. A simple majority can call the House and Senate back, and in a day can pass a resolution and cause those electors to basically be held. And it is binding. I'll see y'all in court.
All right, they have to be down in 3 minutes. Maybe name and affiliation one more time. Name and
Sonny.
district.
I'm Sonny Borelli, state senator. I'm also the Senate Majority Whip, Legislative District 5.
Yep, and State Representative Leo Biasucci, also District 5, Mojave-La Paz County.
U.S. Congressman Paul Gosar from Arizona's 4th District.
Representative Mark Fincham from Legislative District 11, serving Pima and Pinell counties. Thank you very much, and I appreciate getting the word out.
Probably somebody asked that. Where we go from here? What's our next step, gentlemen?
Well, we finished the hearing today,
Right.
and we hope to have a work product out within the next 24 to 48 hours. That is a resolution calling on our colleagues to act.
And is there a shower of doubt from, I'm listening as well as a citizen, not as a media person.
Yes, sir.
And I saw a shower of doubt almost immediately, and we believe in the Constitution. So do you think that's where I'm going, it's the right thing right now? I see like in municipal, like all this information, that they have already, they should stop what they're doing and stop recertification.
You think they should? The testimony this afternoon that doesn't even deal with the voting booths. It basically looks at choreographing and correlating between voter logs and voters that shouldn't have voted. And there's plenty of numbers that they have there that actually should throw that to the Supreme Court to take up.
So there's the mathematical
Because
case.
I heard you say about time, and time of
Yep.
the essence. Right?
Time is of the
So
essence.
This is the time to
So
throw
this
out
is
time
the
and
time
go
to do it, man.
Yes.
So we have the statistical case, we have the actual case,
Right.
and then we have the proofs that show not only do we have ballots that are improper, but we have an election system that's been hacked.
Right.
Okay? So all of those things combined, in my mind so far, I'm leaning towards holding back our electoral college votes, because the problem is once you commingle those legitimate ballots with illegitimate ballots, the election by definition, by very definition, is a fraud. All right, we got to go downstairs. Thank you very much.
But thank you so much for that. Thank you.
Not getting lunch,
Congressman
man.
Paul, I appreciate you. Thank you, sir. Get some lunch, Congressman.
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yes, gentlemen, thank you so much. That was great. But I needed that. That was great to get it out. Yeah, thank you. I hope you guys use it. You know, this meeting, man. Hook me up. Because you're the big time. No, dude. We got cameras. It's one meeting. I don't have it. I'm not